Shalom, want to start off this lesson giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bashem, Shai, Bashem, Wakah, Kodash, belong to our apostles, elders, and bishops of great millstone only, brothers of this world, being divine example of how we should conduct ourselves in the days that we are in, true leaders of Yasha Allah, and all who are certified to teach the understanding truth of the Bible. Peace and blessings and salutations unto you, and thanks for your civilization of form. And let's see the title, True Value. Okay. And what really has high value is the word of the Lord. The only thing that has true value. It's the only thing that holds true weight. And it's the only thing that we can really govern ourselves to have any kind of moralistic value in ourselves. All right, listen, trying to live according to the world and its expectations and all those things are wearisome to the flesh, and we're not here for that. We ain't been put here to overvalue things of no value, man. Okay? Because there's things that are valuable here on earth that has its price set here. And when you think about, like gold and silver and precious stones, sapphires and rubies, when you think about, different styles, cuts and baguettes and all of these things, they hold value here, but the Lord says that He's going to make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man more precious than the edge of Ophir. And with that value set, okay, through the Heavenly Father, that's where we're trying to be, because everything here can be matched. See, it doesn't take morals, it doesn't take virtue, it doesn't take integrity to have money. A lame can have money, okay? So the value isn't in the things that are easily obtainable to the masses. The value is within the word of the Lord, and essentially it's with the true prophets, okay? True prophets, starting with our apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone, okay, and like-minded fellow servants such as myself, we have the true value of the earth, man. We're not afraid, okay, to declare these things in spiritual confidence, because at the end of the day, that is all we have. And we can have houses and families and cars and businesses, but we don't value those things over the Lord and what He's given us, okay? Because what the Lord has given us is a gift, and we hold fast to that more than our own lives. And that can't be understood by many. It's not to be understood by many. Okay? Let me grab this scripture real quick. Grab this. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 5. Ecclesiastes chapter 5 and 18. Behold, that which I have seen. It is good and comely for one to eat and to drink, and to enjoy the good of all his labor, that he taketh under the sun all the days of his life, which the Most High giveth him, for it is his portion. So working and going doing the work and establishing things and investing in things. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay? Verse 19, every man also to whom the Most High hath given riches and wealth, and hath given him power to eat thereof, and to take his portion, and to rejoice in his labor, this is the gift of the Most High. Okay? See? So everything that we have, we take in consideration that we wouldn't have it if it wasn't for the Most High. But here's the point. Verse 20, for he shall not much remember the days of his life. You see? Because the Most High answered him in the joy of his heart. So you have to understand, if life is just all about eating, shitting, and buying, and having sex, and see, everybody can do that. There's nothing special about that. Anybody can have the vehicle you have. Anybody can have the woman that you have. Anybody can have the food that you're buying. Everybody can have, the clothes, the shoes. Okay? Anybody can have these things, but the Lord has predesignated the elect to obtain true value. And that value comes in the word of the Lord. And those things are not to be priced next to blocks of gold and silver. You see? Let me grab that in Job. Yep. Job 28. This is Job 28 and 12. For where shall wisdom be found? The scripture says wisdom makes a man's face to shine, right? So you can tell a man's aura if he has the name of the Lord. You see, there's a certain vibration that's on that man. And as he's fighting his flesh, guess what? His spirit is growing and increasing daily. And as that starts to increase, his chances of inheriting a kingdom that the Heavenly Father has promised, okay, his chances increase. And that's what he's prioritized. He's not worried about prioritizing and increasing in his job and increasing in his wages. Now those things are important, and those things are, yes, at the back burner of what we're trying to do here. But what's on the forefront is Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. Okay, and what we have and what we receive from him. Those things are true value. Okay, because those things are shaping us to who we're supposed to be. We're being fashioned in righteousness. Job 28 and 12, but where shall wisdom be found? And where is the place of understanding? A man knoweth not the price thereof, neither is found in the land of the living. Verse 14, the depth saith it is not in me, and the sea saith it is not in me. Verse 15, it cannot be gotten for gold, neither shall silver be weighed for the price thereof. Verse 16, it cannot be valued with the gold of Ophir, with the precious onyx of the sapphire. The gold and the crystal cannot equal it, and the exchange of it shall not be for the jewels of fine gold. Verse 18, no mention shall be made of coral or of pearls, for the price of wisdom is above rubies. Verse 19, the topaz of Ethiopia shall not equal it, neither shall it be valued with pure gold. Verse 20, whence then cometh wisdom? And where is the place of understanding? It's on the highways and hedges, starting with our apostles, bishops, and the elders. And that's just the truth. You understand? Because you're not going to be able to be a full woman without the name of the Lord. You're not going to be able to be a full man without the name of the Lord. Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, is where you're going to get wisdom and understanding. The scripture says wisdom and knowledge would be the stability of our time. So you have to be stable in the times where things are unstable. And you can't live by the principles of what's making you stable now. Those things are for the now. The things that are coming, the things that we are about to inhabit, that is for the future. And nobody wants to plan for the future in righteousness except for the elect. because we know Jacob's trouble is on the horizon. We know that we have the MOTE to deal with. Okay, so the best thing we can do right now is gather up in wisdom and do the best we can according to the Lord, man. Not according to the world. Verse 21, seeing it is hid from the eyes of all the living and kept closed from the fowls of the air. That's right, man. You see all these people that profess to be smart, they profess to have some kind of knowledge, and at the end of the day, you start to realize that they don't have any goddamn knowledge, man. Common sense just ain't so common. And these people are living. They're living their best lives. They're getting everything they want right now. And they're content with that. They're okay with that. They're not considering everybody else. They're not considering the people that's doing worse than them. They're so busy keeping to themselves. All they're focused on is themselves. So everybody else don't matter. You see? We're not in that spirit. We have true value with the names of the Lord. You see? And that's what wisdom is found. Okay? With his men. Verse 22, destruction and death say, we have heard the fame thereof with our ears. The Most High understandeth the way thereof, and he knoweth the place thereof. For he looketh to the ends of the earth, and seeth under the whole heaven, to make the weight for the winds, and the weight of waters by measure. When he made a decree for the rain, and a way for the lightning of the thunder, he did see it and declare it. He prepared it, yea, and searched it out. He done these things with Yahushua. Okay, in the 144 first collective fruits. Okay, fruit spirits. Okay, they were created. They were part of the creation with Yahushua, man. Okay, when you go to Proverbs 8, man, starting at verse 30, it actually goes into that, man. How the elect was daily the delight of Yahushua. Okay, and how Yahushua was the daily delight of Yahweh, man. Okay. So we have true value, and it's not going to be cashed in on this side. While banks are still running, all right, and this technocracy is still thriving. That's why the Lord is coming to destroy all of this. Because how are you going to believe as long as you got to go to work every day? How are you going to believe as long as this system is requiring you to give up your retina scans and your fingerprints, okay, and your DNA in order for you to tap into the sources that you need to live daily? All right? No, the Lord has to bring this place to tribulation, man, and destruction. And all of those things are going to wake everybody up because you're no longer going to have a system, okay, of your own ways to follow. You're going to have to follow the ways of Yahweh by force, man. You see, as long as there's liberty here, nothing is promised. You cannot trust or put your faith in anything in this man's system because it's all compromisable. We have the records of the marriages, okay, that are broken up, and then the money is being flushed all to the women. Okay, they're taking the kids and their child support systems. The unrighteous decrees are still set in place, and we're still set to them. We still have to abide to certain laws in order to maneuver in this wicked society. And as long as these things are still in our observation, true righteousness is not going to be able to be inhabited. You see? Because everybody is still relying on Monday fucking morning, man. And a better job ain't going to be the way out of this place. A better salary ain't going to be a better way out of this place. Because it's the more money you make, it's the more taxes they tax you, it's the more fees, it's the more interest rates, it's the more everything, man. This whole system is set up for you to fail. And for you to think that you're not going to have to work yourself into a grave, an early grave at that, just to be some kind of special person. No, man. True value is with the names of Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. You have to understand how important that is. You have to make sure that those things are prioritized outside of what you will and want, man, because your will and wants may cause you to die. Wisdom is what's bringing to a kingdom, right? The scripture says that the desire of wisdom 51 and 6, behold, thou desires truth in inward parts. How you gonna get truth in the inward parts? That's when the Lord gives you bodies, man. When see, and that's the thing, like our flesh is so contrary to the spirit. The more you deal in the flesh, you should be feeling allergic to the flesh and gravitate more to the spirit. This is Psalms 51 and 6. Behold, thou desire truth in the inward parts, and in the hidden part thou shalt make me to know wisdom. Okay? Verse 7, purge me with thy hyssop, and I shall be clean. Wash me, and I shall be whiter than snow. This is Daniel chapter 12, verse 10. Many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. Psalms, Psalms 119 and 1. Aleph. Blessed are the undefiled in the way, who walk in the law of the Lord. Right? Mm, Psalms. Bear with me. We got some else to read. This is Isaiah 64 and 6. We are, but we are all as an unclean thing, and all our righteousness are as filthy rags. And we all do fade as a leaf, and our iniquities like the wind have taken us away, man. So we're looking forward to the word clean, cleansing us, because that's the only way we're going to get cleansed. That's the only way we're going to be able to maneuver in the earth a new creature, right? Because that's what the Lord is interested in. Let me grab this. Second Corinthians chapter 5 and 17. Therefore, if any man be in the Mashiach, he is a new creature. So when you trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, that's exactly what you should be motivated in. Your characteristics, the way you walk in the earth, the way you maneuver in the earth, the way you think in the earth. All those things have to be new. And you gotta strive, because you only have this lifetime. The Lord is coming back, man. And nobody has to believe that. But guess what? When these things start to transpire, because you see, all these things on the news are about to be your reality. And if you want to put off reality and live in delusion, then that's fine. But these things are still coming. Okay? These things, these things are going to be addressed. All right, Second Corinthians 5 and 17. Therefore, if any man be in Hamashiach, he is a new creature. All things are passed away. Behold, all things are become new. And we all have our problems. We all have our situations, our shortcomings, our anxieties. We have everything, okay, to work on in this lifetime, but we have limited time to work on. That's why we want to get the hell out of this place. That's why we prioritize this word, because it'll never be enough here. The fact that we're living by a time scale, and then we're living by a work scale, and trying to manage a family scale, a relationship scale, and you're trying to, you have the ministry. There's a lot going on, but the Lord isn't putting more on us than we can handle. problem is we have to gravitate to spiritual gifts because if you're increasing in spirituality, then you're gonna gravitate to it. That carnality is gonna be like a poison. It's gonna be like a untasteful, you know, dessert. It's gonna be bitter to the stomach, man. Okay, and the more we gravitate to the Lord, we have to. That's why the scripture says, what does the righteous have to do with the unrighteous? It's just, it's just oil and water, man. It ain't gonna mix, right? Second Corinthians 5:17. If any man be in the Mashiach, he is a new creature. Old things are passed away. Behold, all things are become new. That's our mindset. You know, that's the way we maneuver on the plantation. Okay, the way we conduct ourselves in the eyesight of our families. All of these things are to be notarized because why? The Lord is behind it all. Okay, He's the one getting the exaltation of why we're different. He's the one that's getting all of the praises and the honor and the glory of bringing us His word and giving us true value, man. Because without this word, we ain't shit. And we gotta see, no one has direction. See, we know what we're about to inherit. The things that are valued here, the Lord is gonna freely give in the kingdom, right? Let me grab the scripture. I love this scripture. Yep, Isaiah 60 and 16. Thou shalt also suck the milk of the Gentiles and shall suck the breast of kings. Now, that's not even talking about, okay, that's all metaphor. It's not talking about actually sucking on the breast. Now, there is going to be plenty breast sucking on in the kingdom, okay, different ways, but ultimately that's not what this is talking about. This is actually talking about the other nations bringing us their best, which ultimately is going to belong to us, okay? And thou shalt know that I, the Lord, am thy Savior and thy Redeemer of the mighty one of Jacob, the Israelites. Verse 17, for brass I will bring gold, and for iron I will bring silver, and for wood, brass, and for stones, iron. I will also make thy officers peace, and thine exactors righteousness. Verse 18, violence shall no more be heard in the land. Yeah, we're not going to have to worry about where our kids are. We're not going to have to worry about our brothers and our sisters being shot down in the streets by Pookie and Ray Ray. We're not going to have to worry about sickness. We're not going to have to worry about our wives going behind our backs, going on the internet and twerking. We're not going to have to worry about these things, but as long as we're here, we don't have any value. Why do you think they're going to kill the prophets and bring great wrath? It's because they don't value the men of the Lord. They don't value the words of the Lord. They're offended by the word, therefore they're offended by the Lord's men, right? But we got true value with this word. Why? Because this is a rulership mentality. And listen, we ain't on no mere mortal shit, okay? Verse 18 again, violence shall no more be heard in thy land, wasting nor destruction within thy borders, but thou shalt call thy walls salvation and thy gates praise. Verse 19, the sun shall be no more thy light by day, neither for brightness shall the moon give light unto thee, but the Lord shall be unto thee as an everlasting light and thy power and thy glory. We're gonna have that glow, man. That eternal glow, okay, that God complex, okay, because the Lord is gonna give us His Spirit, so we're gonna have that true God complex. You see, serving Yahweh Shem Yahweh and exalting Him is gonna give us exaltation. You see, we're gonna exalt everything around us by exalting His name, right? I'm gonna read verse 20. Thy sun shall no more go down, neither thy moon withdraw itself, for the Lord shall be thine everlasting light, and the days of thy mourning shall be ended. Verse 21, thy people also shall be all righteous. They shall inherit the land forever. The branch of my planting, the work of my hands, I may be glorified. You see, that's what it's all about. That's true value, man. How you gonna have value in having kids and you can't even raise them? You can't even tell them who they are, right? How you gonna have value when your woman's mind is everywhere but except where it needs to be? How you gonna have value if you want to work for these devils and always be the slave class mentality and everybody around you got a slave class mentality, so they're praising you when you talk about you got a goddamn job and you're paying bills and you're paying your child support, you're paying all your fees, you paying your tickets. Oh, good little slave, congratulations, man. Okay, that ain't value. Verse 22, a little one shall become 1,000, and a small one a strong nation. I, the Lord, will hasten it in his time. And when the Lord starts to bring his value, he's not going to put a cap on it. He's not going to hold back on it. He's going to dump it all on us, man. And we're going to be, listen, we're going to be looking up with our mouths wide open spiritually, man. Drinking everything that the Lord has given us because we are sacrificing everything to be here. Okay, preaching this word and teaching this word in sincerity is the ultimate goal for all of us. And ultimately, if you fall out of this thing, it's because the Lord wants you out of it. That's for you women too, man. We ain't chasing no women. We ain't chasing Esau and his dainties. We ain't chasing political titles. We ain't chasing, a $2 million bank account. We ain't chasing no dirty box, man. Okay, we're chasing everlasting immortality and the things that has